Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth graders. Hey, welcome back to the channel, I guess. This week in phys ed, we're still in our tennis unit, and the tennis unit this week was focusing on getting outside, hitting some balls back and forth with a partner. We started to use modified tennis balls. Before we were just using like foam squishy balls, and then we're using these soft tennis balls. So they're not going to go as far and as hard as a regular tennis ball. They're just kind of a squishier tennis ball type thing. So anyway, all we were doing was just practicing hitting back and forth with a partner on day one, just getting used to hitting the ball over the net. A way that you could practice this at home is if you have, the side of a garage or something like that that you're allowed to hit up against. Maybe a brick wall or something like that, where like the side of a shed or a barn, somewhere where you could hit a ball against something and you wouldn't get in trouble for breaking anything. So make sure that if you are going to hit a ball against something, you ask. And if you don't have a space like that, that's fine. We still can, kind of practice these skills and get better, for the times when you're able to get to the tennis court. And again, too, if you want to, or if you can, get to the tennis courts maybe on a Saturday or Sunday or after school one day, get mom or dad or grandma, grandpa, Uncle Joe, whoever you live with, to get you up to the tennis courts and you can practice this stuff. There's actually a wooden wall inside the tennis courts that you could hit up against and practice up against that. So just some stuff to consider going forward and being able to practice these skills. So today we'll review the forehand stroke, the backhand stroke, and then the one skill that we got into on the second day of class this week is serving. Because if we can't serve the ball, we can't play. You got to be able to start the game at some point, and you got to be able to serve the ball to start the game. All right, and we're going to talk about the specific skill of serving. So let's practice, review our forehand stroke. All right, again, this is a racquetball racket. If you don't have something that you can use, I know a couple people have said, I don't have a tennis racket, so I'm just, kind of swinging my hand or whatever. You can, basically take a wooden kitchen spoon, and tape 2 paper plates to the end of it. Take 2 paper plates, put them like that, staple them around it, and then wrap it up at the bottom with some tape. Put some tape this way, put some tape that way, wrap it up, and you can at least get used to the feel of a racket and swinging a racket. Okay, just an idea, So here's our forehand stroke. This is just review. All right, this is our tennis ready position. I've got the racket out front of my body. My weight is forward, exaggerated forward, because I need to be ready to move quick side to side, or front or back. All right, so my weight is really up on the fronts of my feet. Forehand stroke. Turn, so my opposite shoulder faces my target. Open up. That's racket back, weight back. Racket back, forward, weight forward to make contact. Contact at the waist with a square racket, and follow through back to ready. So again, ready position, open, close, contact, follow through, right back to ready. All right. Now, backhand shot. Ball's coming at you. I don't have time to move my feet and get in position to make that forehand stroke, so I'm going to make a backhand stroke. Ball's coming to my non-dominant side, and I'm going to turn. I'm going to close up, racket back, weight back still, racket forward, weight forward, contact, square the racket, follow through, right back to ready. Okay? So practice a few of those, get used to swinging it the right way. Okay? And your serve, now we're going to stand all the way back. All right, go back and you can watch that first video that I had you watch, that YouTube video about tennis in general, the scoring, the courts, and all that stuff. Take a look at that if you want. Get a review of what the court looks like and how this is going to go down. But the very end line, all right, the very end line at the one side of the court is the service line. All right, so we have to stand behind that line. And when we serve in tennis, we cannot serve straight ahead. We have to serve cross court. So those 2 rectangles on the other side of the net, I'm not talking about the side big long rectangles, those are the doubles alleys, we talked about those before. The 2 in the middle, there's a box over here and a box over here. They're rectangles, and there's a long rectangle box at the bottom. And that's basically the tennis court. Those ones up near the net are called the service boxes. So if I'm over here on the right side of the court, I need to serve the ball across in the air over the net, and it has to land inside of that opposite side service box for that game to start. And remember, we play points to win games, we win games to win sets, we win sets to win the match. So me versus Isabella out there, I'm in a match against her, all right? And we're going to play each point to see if we can win that game. And if we win enough games, we can win a set. And if we win enough sets, we can win the match. So that's how tennis match would break down, how a competition of me versus Isabella would go down, all right? So here's our serve, all right? So I'm over on the right side, on the base, on the far end service line. There's basically a little rectangle right in the middle, so I need to be on the right side of that. And here is my process for the serve, all right? I need to stand behind that line, put my feet right up to the front of it. I'm again going to turn so my non-dominant shoulder facing my target. Now I'm not squaring up like this because I don't want to hit it straight forward. I'm on an angle, so I'm facing this way because that's where I want to hit it. So I've got turn, I've got racket back, and I've got the ball out front of my body. Bending my knees and pushing the ball up in the air, so it's bend and push. I'm going to make contact up here, up above my head, and then I snap my wrist and follow through. After I make contact with the ball, I can cross over the service line, all right? So, I'll go on my knees so you can see the racket. Turn, racket back out front. Notice when I went racket back in the forehand, I bring the racket back up here. But when I want to do serve, I've got it back behind my head. All right? Bend the knees and toss the ball up above my head. Some people describe this serving motion as like you're going to throw your racket at the ball. You see the ball up there and you're going to throw your racket at it. But obviously we don't want to throw our racket at it because we're going to need it for the rest of those, the game and the match and all that stuff. Don't want to throw my racket. So I've got open up, ball in front, toss with all the way through my knees and up above my head. Racket forward, weight forward, contact at the top right here. So if this is 12 o'clock, I want to make contact just past 12 o'clock. If that was a real clock up there, it'd be like 11, 11:30. And then I'm going to snap my wrist and follow through so that I get that ball on a downward trajectory toward that service box. So if you can, get out and try and hit some tennis balls. If you don't have tennis balls, you can take a yarn ball and wrap some tape around it, just something you can throw up in the air and hit. Again, if you don't have a tennis racket, you can build one, or you can just, pretend that you have one. Pretend you have one, and we can just go turn, racket back, toss, and follow through. Up and follow through. And after I hit, I'm going to start moving toward my target. Okay? So that was it this week. It was basically just get used to hitting with a partner, and let's try our best to learn how to serve and learn what it means to serve the ball. Next week we'll be talking about some modified games, getting in, playing, how to score while the game's going on, and all that good stuff that we kind of went over at the first day. So stick with it. You're doing great. Make sure you finish those modules. Just leave me a comment that say you watched the stuff, and really that's all you have to do. Some people said they had some problems with that tennis pre-test, but I don't know. I went in on my end, it looks good. Other people said they had no problem with it, it worked fine. I've got people that submitted it and other people that didn't, so get in there if you can, finish that stuff up, and even if you finish it late or whatever because you're having trouble, I'll still give you credit for it. So keep up the good work, and I will talk to you later. All right, see you.